This one single nut is the center of a $6 billion global empire. It is hidden in your milk, your snacks, and your skincare. And 80% of the entire world's supply comes from one small, parched strip of land in California. But there is a silent, terrifying price being paid for this luxury. Right now, the world's most profitable agricultural engine is grinding to a halt because of a biological catastrophe we created. And if it fails, it won't just be your latte that gets more expensive. It will be the collapse of an entire ecosystem. To understand the scale of this gamble, you have to understand the sheer audacity of the California Central Valley. It's a place that shouldn't exist as it does. It's a desert modified by man to produce wealth. But here's the problem. To grow an almond, you don't just need water and sun. You need life. You need the honeybee. But not just a few bees. You need billions of them. Every February, in what is quietly the largest managed migration of any species on the planet, nearly every commercial beehive in the United States is loaded onto semi-trucks and driven thousands of miles to this one valley. This is the Great Bee Migration. It is a logistical miracle and a biological nightmare. And it is the only thing keeping California's multi-billion-dollar gamble from imploding. But here is the part nobody talks about. The bees are dying in record numbers, and the system is reaching its breaking point. Imagine 1.5 million beehives containing over 30 billion bees descending on a single region at the exact same time. For 2 weeks, the Central Valley becomes the most densely populated insect habitat on Earth. The stakes couldn't be higher. If these bees don't pollinate the almond blossoms in a narrow window of time, the entire year's crop and billions of dollars simply vanishes. It is a high-speed, high-stakes race against nature. For decades, this worked like clockwork. Farmers got rich, and the world got its almonds. But nature is starting to fight back. In recent years, beekeepers have begun reporting something horrifying. They arrive in California, they unload their hives, and within days, they are standing over mass graveyards. We're talking about a 40 to 50% loss of colonies in a single season. Now this changes everything, because without the bees, the almond industry isn't just in trouble, it's non-existent. But why is this happening? Why is the world's most efficient food machine suddenly killing its most vital workers? The answer is a cocktail of greed and systemic failure. You see, these bees aren't just flying into an orchard, they are flying into a toxic trap. To maximize yields, these orchards are sprayed with a lethal rotation of pesticides and fungicides. Separately, they might be manageable. Together, they create a synergistic effect that melts a bee's immune system from the inside out. But here's where it gets worse. When you bring bees from Florida, New York, and Texas and cram them into one valley, you aren't just moving insects. You are moving every bee disease, every mite, and every virus in the country and putting them into one giant buzzing petri dish. It is a super spreader event of biblical proportions, and as the hives turn into graveyards, the price of pollination has exploded. It used to cost a farmer $50 to rent a hive. Now, it's over $200, and the supply is running out. This is the escalation phase of the gamble. The farmers are doubling down, planting even more trees, while the biological foundation of their industry is rotting. They are trying to outrun extinction with technology, but you can't automate a bee. This brings us to the part that the industry desperately wants to hide. The almond itself is a water-guzzling vampire. It takes 1 gallon of water to produce a single almond. In a state plagued by permanent drought, this is more than an environmental issue, it's an economic war. While the bees die, the water tables are dropping. California's Central Valley is literally sinking, dropping by feet every year because so much groundwater is being pumped out to keep these trees alive. We are trading our future water security for a nut. But here is the twist you didn't see coming. Scientists have spent years trying to create self-pollinating almond trees to cut the bees out of the equation entirely. It sounds like the perfect solution, right? A way to keep the billion-dollar profits without the biological risk. But there's a catch. These self-pollinating varieties produce a lower quality nut, and more importantly, they are far more susceptible to the very diseases that thrive in California's monoculture. By trying to remove the bee, we are creating a weaker, more fragile system that could be wiped out by a single bad fungus. We've built a green wall that is only an inch thick. We have replaced biodiversity with a factory line, and the factory line is breaking. This isn't just about almonds. This is a preview of what happens when global food chains become too optimized, too fragile, and too reliant on a single point of failure. Think about the economics here. If the almond industry collapses, it's not just the farmers who lose. It's the shipping companies, the packaging plants, the global supermarkets, and the thousands of migrant workers who rely on the harvest. It's a multi-billion-dollar domino effect, and the first domino is already wobbling. The insight we have to face is uncomfortable. We are addicted to the year-round harvest. We want everything, all the time, at a fixed price. But the earth doesn't work that way. The California almond industry is a monument to human ego, the belief that we can control every variable of nature for profit. But as the bees die and the wells run dry, the bill is finally coming due. This is no longer a question of if the system will fail, but when. The gamble was that we could outpace nature. The reality is that nature is simply moving the goalposts. Every time you see a bag of almonds in the store, remember the trucks. Remember the millions of dead bees. Remember the sinking ground. The world's most profitable agricultural engine is running on fumes. And once those fumes run out, there is no backup plan. So the next time you reach for that convenient snack, just remember, the war for the almond is a war we are currently losing.